Oh, it's on public. What we say? Peace and love. What up, though? What it do? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening there? Time 9, time 10. Time 9, time 10. Getting back to 9 again, which is the highest number. You can disagree. Again, any numbers after 9 is a combination of the very same numerals. And this is numero uno, N-O-1. They ain't understand that N-O-1 like no one. No, it's like the number 1 is what it is. And what we doing here this evening, right? See, I can say this evening because everybody who know me know I like to say good day. Where my camera at? Let's see. I ain't been around in a minute. See, I'm representing. Nobody can represent you, the way that you are able to represent you, right? So I'm not on private on the Fed book. I don't know what we looking like on the YouTube. It's still saying up and coming. No comprende for that there, right? But what this about? This about music this evening. We're not on the I'm not on here yelling at people about regurgitating satire information. I'm not on here, lecturing or whatnot. This right here, this evening, what we are doing here, we are going back in time, right? No, we ain't trying to do that. What I was trying to do, let's see. I was trying to go full-fledged on what's on the screen. Can I do that? There she go. Look at a baby. That was the baby doing the Anita Baker pose on these O's. The Anita Baker pose. I apologize. I apologize. Y'all might not, I know we got, some older folks. We got some babies out here or whatnot that might not be hip to that Anita Baker pose. But if you go back and you look at the Anita Baker video, I apologize. She was pregnant with a papoose. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Did y'all know that papoose was Algonquian for baby? If you didn't know, you know now, right? So now you know. But this is me. I took this photo. Let's full-fledged again. I took this photo back in 1997 at the C-Note Lounge. And I wish I could. Renee. See how my memory working right now? Miss Renee took this photo of me. She actually, hold on, y'all. Let me take care of this business. All right, so I'm back. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme. Step two, step two, step two. I went from Eric B. and Rakim to the merciless Amir. Shout out and salute to my brother, the merciless Amir. I can name a gang of local Detroit artists who went further than just being Midwest artists. Like if I mention an Awesome Dre, and keep in mind, these are brothers and sisters, because I can say Smiley, but I'm not friendly. This is the generation prior to my generation of hip hop artists in the D. You know what I'm talking about? Like my generation, We had Wall Street, who you all don't know all of the artists who were in Wall Street, but you know one very well, and that would be Royce the 5'9", right? Right? He was the main lyricist in a group known as Wall Street here in Detroit, right? But when I started talking about Merciless Amir, Detroit Most Wanted, Awesome Dre, AWOL, K-Stone, and I can go on and on, Chaos and Maestro, this is the generation that preceded us, right? We came after. And the we would be, I can go on all day. You know what I'm saying? Again, I just mentioned Wall Street, and many of you wouldn't be aware of who that is, but you know who Royce the 5'9" is. If I say the Dirty Dozen, you say, who is the Dirty Dozen? Well, I would tell you D12, although you have missing members, such as Fuzz Scooter, such as Peace Be Upon Them, Bugs. You know what I'm saying? There were other members involved other than the Peace Be Upon Them, my guy Big Proof. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know Eminem, right? But some of those who I'm naming currently, you may not be familiar with. But again, these are members of the said groups, hip hop groups locally here in Detroit, right? So let's look at what's on the screen. This is my very first release. This is my little mixtape, which I just found out it's not even 30 minutes long, right? But if you go back to when did I first get on YouTube? I mean, not YouTube, Fedbook or Facebook or Fakebook, whatever you want to call it. Like, I was on here originally. I wanted to reconnect with some of the brothers and sisters who I went to school with, right? From elementary to middle school and high school, right? And, you know, I got to connect with a lot of the brothers and sisters who, you know, we would have freestyle battles with at the Ebony Showcase, right? At the C Note, right? At Timbo. See, I wasn't a big hip hop shop person, although I went to the hip hop shop. To keep it a buck with y'all, I rarely went inside. You know what I'm saying? I would pull up in my mother's 1977 four-door, Regal with the original mag rims on it. Or I would pull up in her sky blue silverish Suburban, banging the sounds, right? I already knew Proof. I already knew DJ Dead. Shout out to my guy, right? And they'll be like, girl, why you ain't coming in? I'm like, I'm out here smoking good, banging the sounds or whatnot. And I'm going to also be 100% honest with y'all too. Like, at the time, I felt like a lot of these artists who were frequenting, is that a word? Frequenting St. Andrews as well as the hip hop shop, they had this very East Coastish, that ain't a word either. Y'all know I'll be making no words, but whatever. When it's time to be articulate, I can hang with the best. But they were real, like, East Coastish. You know what I'm talking about? They was real New Yorkish. And I'm like, this the D. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got our own style. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, you know, it ain't necessarily goon squad, shake that, make that booty bounce. It's not necessarily straight gangsterism like a Detroit Most Wanted, but we had our own flavor, right? So I really, me, first of all, being a battle femc, like, I like the battle. If you listen to some of my music, most of it is off the top. Y'all call that a freestyle, a cipher. A lot of what I was saying came off the top of my dome, like right there in the booth, on the mic, or maybe somebody gave me a beat or a track and I took it home and I took a little tape recorder and I would just freestyle to it. And whatever I came up with based off of that freestyle, that's what I would end up recording. See, your boy Jay-Z ain't the first to not write a rhyme, just to spit it and memorize it. You know what I'm talking about? I was doing that already. You know, I made the tone of my voice may remind you of other female MCs from other areas or whatnot, other cities, but I've always been me. I've yet here to see or here to hear somebody say what I had said. You know what I'm saying? I have my own experience. Like I mentioned, burning brushes and combs. Like who else has talked about? I'm not saying that nobody else burned brushes and combs when they was left home alone, but that's something I know that I did. So that's my own personal experience. You know what I'm talking about? So we gonna get into this. Like I've been looking for this. I've been offering $100 for this mixtape. You know what I'm saying? That I sold thousands of. But unfortunately, I do not have my own personal copy. This how deep it get. I could find brothers and sisters who had this poster of what you see right here. Peace be upon them. I got this from Subliminal, but Subliminal could not locate this particular mixtape. You know what I'm saying? I can name some other people who I reached out to and was like, I give you 100 right now if you dig through your crates and find this mixtape. Like my CD that I put out, some years later, I can locate that. In fact, I have that myself. But this tape, man, and to know that where we find it at is on YouTube, right? A brother, YOWSP, I think is Yo, what's up, Isaac? Peace to the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because without him at this current time, I wouldn't be able to reminisce like that. Like some of these songs that are on this mixtape, I took and I remixed them and remastered those particular versions of these songs, and I put out on my full release, right? But there's some songs on here that I haven't heard in a couple decades. Imagine that. You see what I'm saying? So when I was actually, shout out to my D-Dot family, they was calling me the DJ, right? The brothers is playing pool. We were all sitting there on the extra board, you know what I'm saying? And I decided to play, we were listening to, Pete this, we was listening to LJ Reynolds of the Dramatics, right? If I had a key to the world. So you got to know, you might have to be from the D to know what that is. You know what I'm talking about? And I was looking, I was about to play because I have Who Can I Trust, right? I was trying to play that, for the brothers and sisters. And when I punched in my name, this entire release came up and I stopped the music. And I got very loud and belligerent, if you will. And they was like, what's wrong with you, Royal? Because that's what they call me. For those of you who are friends with me on Facebook and you see, some of my government name and you see Royal and you think I'm one of these conscious people that have created a name. You know what I'm saying? No, Royal is on my birth certificate, right? That's actually I don't want to say Christian appellation or surname. You know what it is, especially if you went to school with me. We are the Royals, me and my brothers. You know what I'm saying? What you will call a last name. Royal is my actual last name. So for I'm quite sure it was a brother who called himself throwing, shade towards me, like, yeah, with your made up name. Like, bro, I didn't make that name up. Know who you talking to when you talking to him. You know what I'm saying? So I smell something burning. I was heating me up some food or whatnot. Let's, yeah, this is on a CD. I'll be back in a whole time. So again, I got on the Facebook, what y'all call Facebook, and I started connecting with some of the brothers and sisters who I used to hang out with, peace to the God, the Undertaker, and everybody else who, is on Facebook or whatnot. Where am I? Here I go. So I done burnt up my food or whatnot, right? And again, I sold thousands of these locally. You know what I'm saying? From the east side to the west side to southwest Detroit to the north end, all the way around this piece, downtown, wherever I was at. Those of you who knew me back then in my younger years, you know I was selling my own shit. Pardon the, profanity, but again, I'm from Dey-Twah. Habla mad French, you know what I'm talking about? I got to the point as to where some of the local record stores, they went from consignment with me to wholesale, right? Tanya's, Van Dyke's, unfortunately not Damon's Records, even though that's in my own neighborhood, right? But they had the tape, right? Wow, it's so many record stores that don't even exist right now. Your local mom and pop record stores. See, we go on to these various companies that do the streaming, right? Where you getting like a penny. I wasn't getting a penny. I was getting the full $10 and the full $8 or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? From the mom and pop shops, right? Leave me some comments, hit the likes. There's something that y'all know I usually forget to say or whatnot, but let's let it be what it is, and support your homegirl, right? Who just found something y'all all know. Again, I was like even people who are actually on this particular mixtape, DJ Dez, my homegirl Diffusion. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I know y'all got it, dig it out. You know what I'm saying? And you talking about people who have advanced, people who are, the passports got many snaps in it because they still going country to country. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is a time when I'm talking about specifically the summer of 1997. There were so many Detroit artists, whether you're talking about Eminem, whether you're talking about Poe Hussein, whether you're talking about me, myself, and I, whether you're talking about the Almighty Dreadnoughts. Like, it was so many of us who were releasing, what you would call today mixtapes, or what we called back then a EP, meaning that it's only so many songs on here, right? It's not really a full album, but it's enough to get your interest as to where if I play one song, you want that, you want it. You want that product. You want that unit. You know what I'm saying? So I could not find this. So let's backtrack a little bit. I say I put this out summer of 97 or whatnot. Actually, I can't even really say the summer of 97 because I would more so hit it for the fall, because I remember when I got my first 10 tapes that was pressed up, that was sent to me in the cardboard, like long vertical box or whatnot. And I hit the Ebony Showcase and I performed a song called Rap Sheets, right? But before Rap Sheets come on, shout out to my guy Doc Chill. There's a little like intro to it or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny shit. You gotta realize how talented we are and we were back then. Like, I'm talking to a guy on the phone, and the guy is calling me, and he was like, "Yeah, you got me pregnant, right?" This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, when have you heard? I'm talking about back then. You might hear some comedians biting what I did from back then right now, but it's a guy calling me, and the guy is like, "Hey, you got me pregnant," and I'm like, "Dude, you just slept with everybody in my clique. How you just gonna blame that on me?" Then this particular song comes on, right? But Doc Chill is saying his name is Buck. So there's I can't think of the name because it wasn't the Mountain Climbers. Peace to the God, my boy King David and everybody else, you know what I'm saying? He was in another group. So when he heard the name Buck, a few people, even I noticed this in a magazine called the Melodic Militia magazine. Peace to Becky and all the other brothers and sisters who wrote for that particular hip hop magazine, who would basically, wherever we went, they were there. They took the best photos of us. They did the best interviews of us. And a couple years ago, I found their page on Instagram. I'm not a big Instagram person. I do have an Instagram account, but I don't frequent it. Like, it is what it is. I'm a YouTube Fedbook or Facebook person, right? So again, the brother, people were saying that I was talking about Buck. I wasn't talking about Buck, right? That was Doc Chill who decided to say, yo, this Buck, yo, you know what I'm saying? So again, the Melodic Militia wrote it in there like I was talking about Big Bucks. That's actually what the guy name was. And I laughed because Bucks was one of the first people to purchase a tape from me, right? I went to the club. I had the little cardboard box just to show off. I did not intend on selling any tapes to anybody, right? Bucks literally forced me to sell him a tape. He's like, ain't no way you selling me one of these tapes. This is going home with me. So I was like, here you go. So Big Bucks is officially the first person to purchase X-Ray Visions, right? And wow, as I look back on this, I'm tripping, right? So I'll go to that later. Like I just named the brother who has my full mixtape on his YouTube page, right? So I'm reading the comments, and one of the comments it asks, let me scroll down. Excuse me. Let me come over here. Come on, mouse. Work with me. Work with me. We ain't got time for batteries. So where's the comment at? It's a brother by the name of Ain't No Frontin' 202. He says, is Rap Division produced by Jay Dilla? Again, this is a comment by a brother by the name of Ain't No Frontin' 202. And his question is Rap Division produced by Jay Dilla? And right there, I just melted. Because Rap Division is a track that I produced myself on the ASR 10 and Sonic ASR 10 for all you heads. Y'all know what that is, right? But he asked if it was produced by Jay. Do you know, for somebody to ask if a track is produced by Jay Dilla on your first release that is merely a mixtape, do you understand how lit that is? Do I have to explain to you? And peace be upon him always, Jay Dilla. That is the littest of the lit. That is the one of the greatest compliments you could ever receive. But that particular track that he's asking about was not produced by Jay Dilla. That was one of the first beats I did on my own, right? So that got me geeked because, as I previously stated, some of these songs have already been put up on YouTube by various YouTubers, by various content creators, right? But it was not the complete ensemble, if you will. It was not the complete mixtape. But Monday, I found the complete mixtape on YouTube, right? And again, I'm reading the comments, and dude is asking if a track that I produced was produced by Jay Dilla. Like, that's the highest of the high compliment. You don't get no higher than that, right? So my thing is the beat, the little beat, it ain't all that. You could just imagine me being an amateur playing around on an ASR 10. You know what I'm saying? The beat ain't all that. What's all that to me to this very day is the lyrics on that particular song. Like, I went donuts. Like, that particular verse and chorus, I could release today. And people still would be like, "Ooh, based on, do I need to play it?" I don't even, and this is the thing. He put this out, and with it being a cassette tape, is one whole track. It's not one song. And it's the complete mixtape. So let me see something. He started off with it. And that's my, okay, so he started off with Federal Indictments. So for me to get the Rap Division, I think I'm gonna have to come down. Okay, that's the intro to the Nasty song. And I call Rap Sheets. That's it right there. I call that the Nasty song because it is. It's the Nasty song. I'm talking nasty in the song. You know what I'm saying? It's the Nasty song. And I'm gonna give the backstory to Rap Sheets. I call it the Nasty song, right? What had happened was, peace to the God, Santos Ludi, right? The one and only, I'm not going to say the one and only because, you know, due to the fact that one of the only songs that my mother ever said she liked was not this song, right? But the song that I know for a fact that I inked or freestyle that was a hit song is a song called Who Can I Trust? Why do I say this was a hit record? Although this particular release didn't um go so far based on me, right? Not because, you know, labels didn't look at this or look at me as a viable artist or sellable artist or anything like that. I end up, you know, getting in some trouble and losing everything. I'll just put it like that. After losing my mother, peace be upon her, right? But this particular song called Who Can I Trust? Like, no matter where I went in particular, it's a place called, what do you call that place? I just thought of the name of it not too long ago. It's not around anymore. The Brotherhood Club, right? This is a place where many concerts was held. Like, I literally saw Big Mike and the Ghetto Boys and the Brat and JD when she first came out, and so many other artists did concerts at this particular venue, right? But on Wednesday nights, they would do an open mic and a talent contest. And every Wednesday, I won this contest with this one particular song. That was something that was kind of cueing me to that this is a hit song. That's just one aspect, right? Every time I had a meeting with some people who were trying to either manage me or trying to sign me to their little record label or whatever it was, this particular song, they would literally have me sitting in the office somewhere and they would play this song like hundreds, not 100 times, but hundreds of times, the same song as to where I didn't want to hear the damn song no more. But that's when you know you got a hit record. When there are some A&Rs or executives or Russell Simmons or whoever it is, this one song of yours, you having this meeting with them and they keep playing the same song over and over and over and over again. Like literally my DJ, he was the DJ for this Luke Skywalker concert, right? His cousin is the money man. He's the one who brought Luke Skywalker and paid the opening act artists and all of that. And they had me sitting in the little office and he kept playing this one song, Who Can I Trust? Over and over and over again. Every situation that I was in with what we consider to be someone of notoriety, it was this one song. And they would play this song over and over and over again as to where I got tired of the damn song. Even though this song was making me money, you know, every week, every Wednesday, you know, the Brotherhood Club would, you know, I would win the contest and it was only for $60 and I would take it and I would split it with my guy Subliminal because originally he had the last verse on that song. I had the first two verses, but this was the very first time Subliminal had ever been in a music recording studio recording lyrics was with me. So he couldn't catch it. Like he was trying, and my homeboy who produced the track wasn't trying to mess with him. He was only trying to record music with me. In fact, he was trying to get me to sign a deal by way of Peggy Body from the Body Sisters, who was signed to RCA Records. She was a part of the management, if you will, or A&R for Motown before Motown merged with Universal, right? So when I put the tape out, I cut his verse, but he has a song where he has two verses and the guy who did the track has one verse and I just wrote the chorus. So I put, you know, as an exchange, I put that song on the mixtape. I didn't put his verse from Who Can I Trust. So again, this is when you know you got a hit record. Like you go in and you having a meeting with who, Def Jam or LaFace Records or whoever it is. And the one song that they zoom in on, they play that song over and over and over and over and over again. And it makes you nervous because you don't know if they're continuously playing this record because they intend in stealing it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if they continuously playing this record because they feel as though this is the only record that you got that is worthy of a project or what, but they just keep playing this one same record. The only time I was ever around someone of any notoriety and they listened to all my songs, and that wasn't the song that they kept pushing repeat to, I was in a car meeting with, peace be upon him, Uncle Ron Banks, right? And I expect, because I had been through this already, I expected for him to replay Who Can I Trust over and over and over again. And that is not the song that he kept rewinding, because this was a cassette. It wasn't a CD like in all the other situations that I was in. Because I had a copy of this on CD, but I only had cassette tapes that I was selling, right? So long story short, Ron Banks kept rewinding Rap Division. He was like, this is the one. He listened to that song because the song is only, it ain't even 2 minutes long, right? And I'm riding around with my homeboy Rico and him in the Benz. You know what I'm saying? And this is the song that Ron kept listening to. And again, this is the song, and I'm going to prove it to you. I'm not making this shit up. When a guy asks if Jay Dilla produced this song, he did not. I did. But again, it made me feel good because I didn't want to sit up for the umpteenth time and listen at somebody continuously listen to Who Can I Trust. And the fact that Ron Banks was listening to a song that I produced the track myself really made me feel good. And that was this song right here. Not, really, not just the chorus. I mean, the verse on this shit so lit. And I hated this part of the track. This down, down. It is what it is.
I know who you worship for your culture. My behavior is of the chosen. I got your coded. Stiff and frozen like a man. Shady dilemmas, my stitches unintentionally. My passing your bitch will be 60 degrees.
Come on, buddy. See how fast that went. So what I'm about to do right now is show y'all the comment that I was talking about. So where it at? Where it at? I just saw it. Be funny if the shit disappeared, huh? You'll be like, ah, she was lying. Right here. Is Rap Division produced by Jay Dilla? Right? You see it right here. Should I highlight it? Right there. Is Rap Division produced by Jay Dilla? That is the ultimate compliment. It don't get no better than that. I don't care who you are or what you thought. When you start talking about Jay Dilla was everything. You know what I'm talking about? Why just go for me? I don't know, y'all. This I did something earlier on. I'm just hoping it didn't take away the audio so y'all can hear everything I'm saying. I shared the screen already for the comment. So is it this one? Yeah, but I don't really like that. Let's see. Still ain't, that ain't what it is. That ain't what it is. So we'll just go back full screen again. This brother, where his name at? Boom, boom, boom. His name is Ain't No Friend 202. It's Rap Division produced by Jay Dilla. That is the highest compliment. Again, because it's not produced by Jay Dilla. It's produced by a young Toy Toy. You know what I'm saying? Was I even old enough to buy a bottle of yak yet? Yeah, that's lit. I don't care what you say, who you is, what you talking about. For sure. So can I go back a little bit?
Them C's losing their religion in this rap division. I'm leaving them C's losing their religion in this rap division. I multiply mathematics like Egyptians, causing friction, shady dilemmas, rise tensions unintentionally by passing your physical 360 degrees. Lyrically, worry free MC. Check my history. Legendary, oh shit down like gravity. You got no faith. It's too late to escalate. You got eliminated by the lyrical terminator. Master poet, ego that Leo race corroded. I'm that MC. I stay focused through the pressure. I stay creative, not repetition. This hip hop lifestyle is vicious. Keep me on a mission. My style is never flexible. The metaphysical was revolution, no beyond the norm. It's those the doubles without horns in different forms. With the freaky poetry that gets you heating like a portrait. This realist got styles and products. I'm not as Islamic for cause on Catholics. When it's tragic, no matter who you worship or your culture. My behavior is of the chosen. I got your coded. Different frozen like a mannequin. Trying to keep my scriptures holy like the Quran. Leaving the seeds, losing their religion in this rap division. I'm on the mathematics like Egyptians, causing freaks and shady dilemmas. My attention unintentionally.
I passed the physical 360 degrees. See, I was kicking long time ago. And I don't really want to talk about this. Really. Because I'm like, this particular release is copywritten. I do have publishing with ASCAP for this particular release, right? So if somebody else, that's just like, okay, I do a live and I play Mariah Carey or something like that. Y'all know YouTube ain't letting that fly. I'm getting a copyright infringement and all kind of shit instantly. But somebody else can share my music and nothing happens, right? Which the only person I can blame is self. Now let's go back a little bit. I talk about releasing this in 97. Okay, locally I'm doing good. If I'm getting $8 to $10 per tape and I've sold thousands, like, you know what I'm saying? I can afford to go out every day, put some gas in the car, you know what I'm saying? Buy whatever I want to buy and that be that, right? But at the time, I'm also a part of a group. You see Wi-Fi on the front. Let me take this down for a minute. Hold on. See, I done forgot how to do this. What is this? What does this say? Present. Not trying to present. What is this? They keep changing stuff on they keep changing how they do things on StreamYard, and I haven't been on here in a minute. So that's what we want. Boom, boom. That's what we want right there. That's what we listening for right there, right? So 97, 98, I'm out here pushing my little mixtape, right? At the same time, I'm a part of a group known as Wi-Fi, right? Which stands for Young Females Incorporated, right? Many people call us wifey, right? Again, we got people pulling at us from the left to the right because we don't. There's no other way to put it. Back in the day, I wouldn't say that. I was arrogant, but I wasn't that arrogant. You'd be like, hey, what's a rap? You say you rap or your girls rap or what? I would kindly hand you a CD or a tape until you play a song and you let me know. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, all eyes was on us, put it that way, right? And unfortunately some things transpired that put a damper on some things, right? We lose a couple members, had to replace them. I lose my mother, you can't replace that, right? So not too long after that, I end up getting in some trouble, so this is the reason I didn't have a copy of this tape, right? Still have my CD, which means I had some better versions of a few of these songs, but I did not have this complete mixtape in my possession, which I never worried about because, again, many people purchased this. So I figured it would be real easy for me to get my hands on this, which I did initially. Peace be upon my homeboy, Mook Dog. I went to record a song with him, and I actually had got the tape from one of my people, and I was supposed to put the whole cassette tape and convert it to a CD. I decided not to do that. I just picked a few songs and put it on the CD. I should have put the whole damn tape on there, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't. So all these years, I still never had this entire tape, right? With that being said, this is where we find it, and this is where we are now. And it's just this one verse, and I promise you, the beginning of the verse, I can't even tell you what I'm saying. You just listen to Rap Division. There's something else I want to say about that particular song. The ADAT that we were recording over, it slows it down. So I'm actually rapping faster than what you are hearing. But on one of the other songs that I did not convert and that I did not put on my next release, I'm rapping so fast, I don't know what the hell I had said. So that's going to be another task that I'm going to have to deal with now that I found the complete copy of this tape. So that's about it. I wasn't trying to hold y'all forever and a day. But again, it's like I'm happy and a little bit mad at the same time. I really don't know how to feel, but it is. You say bittersweet? Okay, bittersweet. I can go with that. I guess that's a proper description or whatnot. But yeah, initially I was like, what the blood clot? What the blood clot do that shot about? And anybody will feel a way when you find your intellectual property elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is a monetized channel. I, sent the brother a message. Hopefully he responds to it and we'll go from there with it. But it's no beef about it. I just want a copy of the damn tape. You see? That would be it. I'm not now I'm trying to find a way to put this on another platform right quick. Nope, can't put it on here. So I'll leave that alone. But yeah. Like if y'all want to listen to it, I already shared it and where it's located at. Since I still don't have it, but it is what it is. As well, on our YouTube channel, you can find some newer music, right? That's, more up to date or whatnot, but it don't matter. If you got bars, you got bars. We are literally still listening to Check Out My Melody. We still listen to I Ain't No Joke. We still listen to Microphone Fiend. You see? When you got bars, you got bars. You see? I'm literally still listening to MC Shan. I pioneered this because that's one of the songs that gave me the skills that I have today. And a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot, but you may have some people who cater more so to a LL Cool J and more popular artists. But I pioneered this as my favorite MC Shan song. Like if you never heard that, you need to go listen to that right now. Like Shan went in on that. I don't care what you say about that guy. That guy chopped bars on that particular track. So, and that's something I still listen to today. So I'ma enjoy listening to my little mixtape and reminiscing. You see what I'm saying? I can't believe I have my actual address. out here like this. 10, 11, 8. Yes, yes, it is. It's on there. Actual phone number, little cell phone. Who was that? 30756. Okay, direct connect. Um, Peace to Raymond. And what's the DJ name? I can't even think his name right now. That's messed up. It is. I bought some steak seasonings, so you gotta look behind the other seasonings. That's the best one. For sure, y'all. This right here, this is the era. This is the era that produced Eminem. This is the era that produced the Royce da 5'9". Like if you wasn't a battle MC in Detroit at the time, like we weren't trying to even give you the time of day. You know, granted there were other local MCs at the time, but on the level that we was on, it was just us. It was just us. And when you a battle MC, you know, it's when you come off the top, you know, a freestyle can be something that's written or whatever the fuck, but we was straight coming off the top, just with destruction in the cipher. You know, some that came after us, right, loved us, and those who came before us either loved us or hated us, right? I was fortunate enough that the brothers who preceded us in this game, and we're not talking local shit, like literally Detroit Most Wanted was on Ichiban, right? Awesome Dre was on Priority Records, right? If I start talking about Rap Mafia again and these other cliques, Chaos and Maestro, all of these groups was dope. Wasn't no whack, nothing. Who? What? Right? Now we can name some artists of that era. I can't, to be honest. And I wouldn't name anybody from my era that was whack because I don't want to disrespect nobody. And to be honest, I can't even think of anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure if we went back to that time and you asked me, you know, I may, you know, be able to give a few names, but right now I can't even think of anybody. What I can think of is people who were able to sharpen their swords from our presence. You know what I'm saying? From our critique, from us taking various artists through artist development without even really knowing it, right? And you know, this hip hop game is a funny game. Some people will get upset with you, you see, for even mentioning their name and you helping them sharpen their swords, which is some bullshit, right? And ultimately a lot of envy and a lot of jealousy and things like this and that unglued the glued. If we gonna be honest about the situation. Because ultimately that's what it was. I was never anywhere with anybody writing or freestyling and asking them, you know, give me some words or give me something to go with this or help me out with this course. Bitch, I never did that shit. Right? So we gonna be factual. We gonna be factual. You know, people have a problem with paying homage. I don't have a problem with paying homage. You see? Showing gratitude to those who predate me, right? Or for those who walk with me, or for those who were, you know, financially instrumental in helping me get some things done. But again, unfortunately, we got brothers and some brothers and sisters who were the opposite of me. They helped unglue the glue, right? Which is, you know, I don't even want to go all off into that because even after that, I did good. If it wasn't for me just snapping how I snapped when I snapped, you know, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. We would not. Believe me, when I say we was next up or I was next up, nobody would deny that. I don't care if you talk to Street Lord Wine, right? I don't care if you talk to the white boy Eminem and mention my name and show him this release right here, he'd be like, fuck yeah, I know her. Where's she at? Right? I literally disappeared. And when I would pop up, it would be for a fraction of a time. And when I did pop up, those who were new that didn't know me, they watched all of those who were already signed and millionaires gravitate toward me and ask them, who is she? Right? And for those who I thought that didn't know me, you know what I'm saying? They corrected me like, well, we know who you is, girl. And I'm like, okay, my bad. I'm just trying to find my brother. You know what I'm talking about? I went to a record release party. I don't even know who record release party it was. This was like 2003, something like that. And a group was up and they was performing and they was lit. And before he got off stage, he was like, yeah, my album coming out and I got Mossy Ski and such and such on it. So when he got off stage, I ran up to him and I was like, dude, I'm like, I know you don't know me, but Mossy, that's my brother. I'm trying to find. He was like, girl, I know who you is. You see? So this industry, not just on a local level, but when you're talking about the music industry and you think about some of the greats like a Marvin Gaye, like a Teddy Pendergrass, like a Aretha Franklin, you would never over and understand some of the things that these people went through. Like this music industry is more dirty than the streets, right? Like literally, when I name somebody like the Fabulous, the Dramatics, you know what I'm saying? Like I know some of these stories from the inside, right? I know some of the things that hindered them from being able to help us the way they wanted to help us. And the number one complaint, peace be upon them, that Uncle Ron Banks had is some of these local hip hop groups from Detroit, when he was working with Death Row, when he was working with Ice Cube, some of the groups or the people he was trying to help, they was whack. Let's just say what the fuck it is. Because this is what came out of his mouth into my ears. But he gladly took all my shit. You see? Nobody, if you are a whack artist, nobody listens to, nobody of stature will listen to your songs or one of your songs hundreds of fucking times. Right? If that ain't a hit record. It gotta be a hit record for, again, a Russell Simmons, a L.A. Reid, or somebody like that, to listen to one of your songs hundreds of times right there in your face in the office. You're sitting there for hours. You irritated as an artist. Now, if you're sitting there with management is geeked. But I never had a manager. You see, I had investors. I had people who knew these people personally, who had other dealings with them outside of the music industry. They wasn't dealing with them with music, right? And they had lots of money. They was just trying to help me. But they would get off on a couple of songs that I had. And again, as an artist, and you sitting there, especially as young as I was, that shit is irritating. Like if you can sit up on multiple occasions and multiple meetings and listen to one song that you have hundreds of times, like you are, what's the word? Narcissist? I don't fucking know, but it irritated me. Yeah, I like the song. And I understood the fact that other people love the song. But as an artist, you want to get on and, be creative and make other music. You don't want to get stuck on just this one song because this is a hit record. And I had a lot of fears, like me signing contracts, like literally, say you got an executive from Motown Records, right? And they flew in to meet with you specifically to have you sign a contract and you duck out on them. That was me. I duck out. I fled many situations because I understood the fact that I don't have an entertainment attorney or any kind of attorney. I don't have any management representing me. And I don't understand what's in these contracts. What I do understand how to do is make a hit record, how to perform, right? My stage presence, right? How to watch my P's on a microphone, right? These are things that I understood, and I very well understood artist development, right? I understood the formula of how to make a hit record, to be as creative and as controversial and as contradictive as possible. I understood all of these things, right? And I orchestrated all of these things. But I know, what's the old boy that made that song, She a Bad Mama Jam? I can't think of his name right now. He got two first names, right? I've seen the demons. I've seen people who were multi-talented, but they were strung out on heroin and cocaine. You would say heroin or cocaine. No, I'm talking about heroin and cocaine at the same time. How about that? I saw a lot. I've seen, peace God, I've seen sexual assaults occur in that industry. I saw a lot. And it wasn't appealing. And when you're dealing with an artist who loves to not just record music, but make music, right? And be able to express themselves. Money was never the number one priority. Carl Carlton, thank you. I know we had two names, right? You talking about one of the most talented people ever. And you haven't heard him make a hit record since Bad Mama Jama. If I'm wrong, because again, you got to imagine when that came out, you see, was I born? Yeah, I don't know. My whole point is, I saw a lot. You say he, for some reason, I want to call him Stevie. Hey, his voice was phenomenal, right? I don't want to put people out there like that, but I'm talking about the era of freebase cocaine. I'm not even talking about crack. Like, I know some things about that man that at my age, I shouldn't know, right? So I was exposed to a lot. I saw a lot. Some things to this day are just not being exposed or examined. I already knew about as a little girl when you're talking about this music industry. So I'm just happy. I'm gonna bang my little mixtape that I done found. Right, I'm gonna try to figure out what I was saying on that one song that I'm rapping so fast. You see what I'm saying? On a level a twister. You see, figure out what I said when I said what I had said. Because again, I can't point to one song on his mixtape that was written. All of this is freestyle. Most of my music was freestyle, especially if you gave me a beat that I either really, really loved or I really didn't too much care for, but I knew that it was very commercial and that particular music is something that would be pushed by the industry. So again, I would just freestyle to it. I kept a tape recorder, asked my homegirls. Right now, I probably got 5 or 6 recorders that I don't even use. So I just would listen to the beat and I would just freestyle to it and record myself. And I would listen to that recording a few times and I would know my lyrics by heart. So that's what most of this tape consists of. My second release, which was the actual release, that's what it predominantly consists of. And that's kind of how I operated. Like, I was a battle MC. I was a freestylist for real. I was off top of the dome, as we would say here. And being in the cyphers that I was in, like if you standing next to a Big Proof, or you standing next to the white boy, who y'all call Eminem, or you standing next to B Flat, or you standing next to Fuzz Scooter, or Bugs, peace be upon them, you had to be about that business. Because they weren't passing that mic to nobody who was whack, right? So that's what I came up around. And that's just what we did. That's what we did. Many people were already going to Jack the Rapper every year, you know what I'm saying, until Death Row and Luke Skywalker Records ruined that shit, you know what I'm saying, when they had it down in Florida. It was Orlando, it wasn't Miami. If I'm wrong, y'all put it in the chat, right, where Death Row would start beefing with Luke Skywalker, Luther Campbell, and them and whatnot. And that was the last Jack the Rapper. I think that was the last Jack the Rapper. Don't quote me on it, but if I had to bet money on it, I would. Just put it that way. But many of the artists, of the hip hop artists in Detroit, were starting to give up. Like I didn't mention, and I'll go into this the next time I go live. You know, talking about music or whatnot. But for the most part, the hip hop artists in Detroit were blackballed, right? And I'll tell y'all why next time I go live. But I'm gonna say this: during, I'll say 1992 up until 2000, with the exception of a few. If we talking about a Peace Be Upon Her, Boss, aka Lachelle Laws, Riddler, they were both signed to Def Jam. A few artists were able to squeeze through, but for the most part, if you were from Detroit, you were a rapper, they weren't fucking with you. You was blackballed. But if you were from Detroit and you were a comedian, a singer, a dancer, an actor, you can get on easy. You from Detroit? Oh yeah, you from Motown? Come on, come on, come on. But you from Detroit? You talking about you an MC? We weren't blackballed because we were whack. Obviously, y'all love the shit out of Eminem, right? That had nothing to do with it. And I'll go into more detail next time because I do have actual footage to um, verify my points of contention, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And we'll deal with that then. But I don't want to hold y'all. I want to sit back and listen to this. And, you know, you may dig a few songs on this release as well. You might not dig all of it. I don't have no problem with it. This is my first shot at it. A lot of stuff wasn't all the way developed or mixed or mastered or whatnot, but this is a mixtape. This is a hip hop mixtape. This is a mixtape where I show various people a whole lot of love, right? Uh, the brother mentioned Jay Dilla. Well, DJ Dez of Slum Village, who took Jay Dilla's place after he passed, he's featured on here. He's producing my little freestyle raps on here. So when I say I was in the game, I was in the game. You know, it's to come back from the losses that I took, you know, from 1999 to 2000 is, you know, many people don't even come back from that. So to be able to have remnants of what I actually did musically, y'all will call that a blessing, right? So we're gonna deal with it from right there. What was playing? Let's see what was playing. Hey, I didn't mean to zoom. The zoom. It is what it is. Let's see what happened. I think it's last. Yeah, that's the one verse I can't even figure out what I'm saying. Y'all might be able to help me out with it. Oh yeah, it's about to come up. Y'all hold tight, rock with me. Actually, relax. Mm, mm, mm. Might be able to get it. Yeah. Let's see right there. Hopefully we don't get no buzz. Bam, got it. This is why the brothers say it was released in 96, because I say 1996 on this song, but this is released in 96.
Finger lyrics that I took down, low down, Motown, bringing this shit to your ass underground. And it ain't no fading us, cause in dollars I trust. So who gives a fuck? I said, who can I trust? I barely trust me. If I trusted that other nigga, where would I be? It's that 313 mentality. It's that 313.
All right, my bad. I know you probably could barely hear it, but it's on YouTube. And it's on YouTube Music. That's where I found it at. You know what I'm saying? Said no sound. You could barely hear it. And believe me, I want to play it. I feel like I feel like the execs that was listening to it hundreds of times back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I can't even front, like, from not hearing it all those years. I want to hear it a bunch of times too. Let's see what happens. See if it I'll try at least that one song one more time. Let's see. Trying to make sure. See this StreamYard that did some new stuff. I don't you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't even how am I not on the screen? I see it share. And I'll try it again. See what happens. It's all small now. Can you hear me now? Because I don't think it was a situation where you couldn't hear me. I think the situation. You couldn't hear the. My bad. It was you couldn't hear the music, but you can hear me, right?
Choice like Rolex, too many styles to digest. That is Beyonce said she must confess that my profile and style make you wanna cruise down 7 miles all the way to Bella. Now let the show who got his own Harry Bone. That's the scoops getting on chrome. Niggas hit us on the phone for cocaine loan, so we flash strong. This motherfucker world got my mind on gangsters.
Let's try it again.
No perpetrate, no play, hey. Just real flows. LaDon Motown up in here. Too dirty. You're backwards and twisted. The form is unlisted. I keep that system nasty. You repeat it, your lips get blistered. With nothing but visions in my mind. The fat dollar signs. More than a sign of the time I got to get mine. It's my soul that I'm trying to find. Facing the flat lines and tight bounces broke through the gun smoke. Soon as the bullets come, punk ass niggas choke. My daddy should've wore a raincoat, cuz I should've been skeeted in the six, but it's too late. I penetrate, you can't relax or relate. I make your head not a spin like the Exorcist. My lyric always more glamorous than the Lexus. Complex, top choice like Rolex. Too many styles to digest status. Beyonce said she must confess that my profile and style make you wanna cruise down 7 miles all the way to Bedlam. Who can I trust? I barely trust me. If I trusted that other nigga, where would I be? It's that 313 mentality. It's that 313 mentality. Yeah, who can I trust? I barely trust me. If I trusted that other nigga, where would I be? It's that 313 mentality. It's that 313 mentality. Meanwhile, I'm having sick thoughts, making incisions into major decisions. Still I inhale and prevail like Bill Clinton. I ain't bullshitting. Grab this mic off and then I start spitting. Bitches can't hold me. Niggas wanna blow me slowly. My goal is to stack cheese and be holy. Get up and every day go to church. Fuck school, fuck curfew, fuck homework. You got your face so retarded like somebody farted. I run all over your stuff because you're too soft-hearted. You started this shit and I'm just the one to end it. Got all them C's offended with the middle finger lyrics that I take down, low down, Motown. Bringing this shit to your ass underground. And it ain't no fading us, cause in dollars I trust. So who gives a fuck? I said, who can I trust? I barely trust me. If I trusted that other nigga, where would I be? It's that 313 mentality. 24/7 about mine, and who's the one grinding? It's I, trying to get a piece of the pie. Fuck it, all I need is the crust when I bust. Dog ass thing. Wanna flex that? Don't. In between the sheets, strategies is deep. In between the sheets, my strategies is deep. In between the sheets, the fuck make you relax. My strategies is deep. In between the sheets. Oh, what you see? You can't see me like Al Jarreau. I'm the girl pimpin' with the curly afro. I got the glow like Leroy on the last dragon. My pants sagging. I got 100 niggas nagging to get my number. Sometime I wish was blind like Stevie Wonder, cut. Some of these dudes be through booking me. They never hookin' forever. Look in my direction, instant erection, got me reaching for my protection. Cause these niggas fucking these hoes without rubbers. 9 months later, complaining, yelling out murder. T-bars and touch my.
Master relevant, keeping the booze buck, my crews and decking element.
And walking silence, Detroit city streets is full of violence. Federal indictments keep niggas living trifling. You better run when your ass hit them sirens. Keep keep that shit quiet and walk in silence. Cause my city streets is full of violence. Federal indictments keep niggas living trifling. You better run when your ass hit those sirens. Keep that shit quiet and walk in silence. Detroit city streets is full of violence. Federal indictments keep niggas living trifling.
There we go.
Leaving them seas, losing their religion in this rap division. I multiply mathematics like Egyptians, causing friction, shady dilemmas, rise tensions unintentionally by passing your physical 360 degrees. Lyrically, worry free MC. Check my history. Legendary, hold shit down like gravity. You got no faith. It's too late to escalate. You got eliminated by the lyrical terminator. Master poet, ego, the Leo race corroded. I'm that MC. I stay focused through the pressure. I stay creative, not repetition. This hip hop lifestyle is vicious. Keep me on a mission. My style is never flexible. The metaphysical was revolution. No beyond the norm. It's both the devils with our horns in different forms. With the freaky poetry that gets you eating like a pork flip. This realist got styles, erotic, drop knowledge, Islamic football on campus. When it's tragic, no matter who you worship or your culture. My behavior is of the chosen. I got your coded. Stiff and frozen like a mannequin. Trying to keep my scriptures holy like the Quran. Leaving the seas, losing their religion in this rap division. Them seas, losing their religion in this rap division. I'm up mathematics like Egyptians, causing friction, shady dilemmas, rise tensions unintentionally by passing your physical 360 degrees. Lyrically, worry free MC. Check my history. Legendary, hold shit down like gravity. You got no faith. It's too late to escalate. You got eliminated by the lyrical terminator. Master poet, ego, the Leo race corroded. I'm that MC. I stay focused through the pressure. I stay creative, not repetition. This hip hop lifestyle is vicious. Keep me on a mission. My style is never flexible. The metaphysical was revolution. No beyond the norm. It's both the devils with our horns in different forms. With the freaky poetry that gets you eating like a pork flip. This realist got styles, erotic, drop knowledge, Islamic football on campus. When it's tragic, no matter who you worship or your culture. My behavior is of the chosen. I got your coded. Stiff and frozen like a mannequin. Trying to keep my scriptures holy like the Quran. Leaving the seas, losing their religion in this rap division. I'm on mathematics like Egyptians, causing friction, shady dilemmas, my tensions unintentionally.
Degrees. Long time ago. Know what I'm talking about? I was a Hebrew Israelite a long time ago.
Fuck, bro. You ain't shit. You know the fuck I mean? You ain't shit. You got me breaking home. Yeah, bro, I come on, I ain't fuck nobody else. You don't even. Yeah, I mean, always. People lying on me. I ain't never sucked Debo pussy. You ain't shit.
You know some jokers in the children is my rock
You
slow.
ain't shit. That shit is nothing all up in your face.
Nigga, I'ma beat your mama.
Oh, my mama said, no, fuck you.
Can't flex.
Tell you why I'm at home. I'm wrong.
Been there, done it. Been there, done it. Appreciate that, guy. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. That's the young me. That's it. It is no different now than it was back then. What I mean by that is haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate.
You know the fuck I mean?
Those who are lives gonna celebrate. Gonna hate. Those folks too.
Come on, I ain't fuck nobody else. You don't even. People lying on me. I ain't never sucked Debo pussy. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. Nothing all up in your face. Oh, my mama said, no, fuck you.
I was there.
I can tell you why I'm at home. I'm wrong.
But make sure when you talk about me, you speaking the truth. Don't come about what you heard. And it's always cool to ask. I don't have shit to hide, right? Unless you ask me something, you know what I'm saying? The statute of limitations. The statute of limitations ain't nothing. But when it comes to this hip hop, when it comes to this knowledge of stuff, you know, you can virtually ask me anything and I'll answer it 100% honestly, right? And if you ask me a question and I do not have the answer, I'm gonna let you know. Simple. I don't know. I may be able to point you in a direction to get the answer that you're looking for, right? But I'm not gonna give you the wrong answer. I want to make it look like I know every damn thing. And I think this is a mistake that I've made over the decades, and I've watched it play out. I've watched those who should have been on the front line. I've watched those who should have been right next to the white boy Eminem. It should have been, right? I watched many of us, right? Physically with that music, and you know what I'm saying, the bars that they left will live on forever. And me being able to go on Facebook and find my entire album is and I'm not here to use it. Although again, there are this material that I released after this release that makes this look left, right? But again, this is me looking at me, you know, as a baby, like, damn, if I can whisper in my own ear, you know, if I can whisper in my own ear.
What is this? It's the way I get up and then I dish you. Dismiss
I was solo before I
laugh at you. Why they clap for me?
I've always
Cause
been
I rock
my
the body.
homeboy in the moment.
Way of the party. Ain't nothing but me.
Real gangster trying to blame it on me.
Maybe
I'm
you
not
was
being
a
a
little bit
gangster.
Alizé the other day. Sprung off the tank away.
Beatboxing and I'm freestyling and we elementary, walking up and down,
the buzz come quicker. Yes,
rolls,
smoke blunt, split 'em all the way down the middle. Sedum, Diddy,
West
I
Chicago,
got teeth.
Joy Road.
Niggas wanna,
You see what I'm saying?
wanna make me go through.
I remember he
married and all
boxing one
that.
day.
But
I'm
I
doing
ain't
honey
gonna
diet.
get so tired. Like, what you doing? Smoking up more
I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear the rap shit. I'm like, bro, I don't know that. I was just saying whatever I was saying. And everybody was like, well, do that. You know what I'm saying? And that was the beginning of me exploring my actual talent and what I had a knack for. And that was that wordplay, right? Whether I was saying something that was conscious, whether I was saying something that was freak nasty, whether I was saying something that, you know, battle bars, right? Battle bars. That's always what I was doing. I'll battle anybody. I don't care who it is. Like 3 years ago,
Getting cream like a
not
candy,
that used to be art, but it's a club that's away from Austin Gray was having an anniversary. So of course I want to go. That generation comes after Austin Gray. Cool story. Let me tell you how this. I didn't know.
I believe that I know what I hear and half of what I see. I know the devil is that shit called jealousy. Won't stand up for nothing, falling for anything. All these niggas think ain't getting no change. Talking about you moving things, you ain't moving shit. But your lips fucking up, but you can't say shit about my click while you fly. Flat like the birds that don't fly. Make your work the one that fly like what you're
I don't get what this person is trying to say. I'll throw it up there, dude. You know, please don't come out with disrespect, because what I'm doing is I'm sharing my life. You know what I'm saying? So to tell me to delete my life or not to share my life, that makes sense. Well, I don't even know what you're trying to say. Like, see how last night you like, you know, talk this time like moderators, meetings, something like that, but not doing it on track, trying to go for it well. So, went to Austin yesterday, anniversary party. It was lit. But when I walked in, a young lady worked on the lane. She grabbed me and was like, take a picture.
Got you feeling
Like
like that fire
these
rapper
girls
hitting the
used to
notes like the neighborhood snapper, like that
beat
rapper on
them
the
ass.
cipher. Freestyle written, no form of hip hop
I
or
never
remix.
had,
Cause we got you
let
in
me
your
say
mini
this,
bang
I
big.
never
But
had
then you got poems like a female,
a
spice one, on them
MC
like a phone,
battle
drop it up, they didn't
with
fit the style, free zone. Toy,
doing
toy, but she
shows
don't play
and
it, so
being
pass
at
it off the
open
top. She's
mics
like
with
a
him,
female
being on the
Michelin.
same
You just
table
won't
with
stop.
him.
KBD's delivery is like a Scarface
That
strategy. You
happened.
thinking they're
I don't
rapping
know
it
who
with
that
your
is. I don't
casualty.
even
It's the
know
D to the double
what they
E.
talking
Make
about.
way
You
for
know
the
what I'm
ladies
saying?
in my
Like,
motor city. Nationwide
they
known
got
ladies
like fucked
controlling
up
our
or
zone.
whatever.
Deep
I know I got
female,
some.
this shit breaking niggas down like you bone.
It is what it is. I know I got some haters. My thing is this. Again, anything that I say, I put a rack on. Y'all call it a rack. Just call it a stack. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I put $1,000 on it. If you find something contrary or proves me to be fair to my words, I'll pay. I'll pay. Ask about me. You know what I'm saying? Ask about me. Ask the guests who I've had on the show. I pay my way. You see what I'm saying? That's why I can always say this. I can always say what I just said. You find me in error, and you want to debate me on something, you put the same $1,000 up that I put up, and we go head to head. That's how I do. I'm the woman who comes into the club, grabs the mic, rip it, and throw 100 and $5 on one dollar. That's my reputation. My reputation precedes me. How y'all say that? I don't know who it is, but feel free to block them or delete them. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even ace fuck full. Are you crazy? Delete your video. Fuck live, motherfucker. Like, just that's donuts. I don't say bananas. I'm from the D. I say donuts. So, let me go back to saying what I was saying. So, I walk in. I told y'all what the lady said. She took a picture with me, and I've always wondered if that was the sister that had the same freaking tunnel car as my homegirl. Went to the Run DMC concert together at Legends. When Legends was open right next door to club Samantha, right? And damn, anyway, if you are a true hip hop fan and you are my age or older, you know who Runny Ray is. Runny Ray is the role manager of Run DMC. If you saw the movie Tough and Leather, which, man, I was so young, I wasn't in Detroit when it came out. I was in Florida. But Detroit made probably international news, not just national news. When Tough and Leather came out, you know, brothers were shooting. I don't know, was it at Norwest or Mercury Theater? Y'all let me know, please. Right? So they shut the movie down because of Detroit, right? Long story short, I know the movie, Runny Ray's story was in the movie. He gets shot in the movie, but that happened in real life. So fast forward to like 1998, 1999, when we did that concert at Legends. Runny Ray was with them. From him getting shot up, like his arm and his leg is kind of messed up. So he walked, he moves. Man, oh, her whole name comes to mind. So she shouted. She like, Runny Ray. And I'm like, sis, mind you, she's a lot older than me. Come to find out, her brother was real cool. He used to do business. What's old boy name that was down with Prince and oh man, old boy that was beefing with 50 Cent and all them or whatever. You know, they had to give me the story because I was like, why you disrespecting him like that? I didn't know that Run DMC and Jam Master Jay and all of them was like tight with her family, like they was family, and they had to explain that to me and whatnot. So, because I was tripping, I'm like, man, why you saying that to Runny Ray? Like he got shot for real. So, like, no, them my people. They roll with my brother. You know what I'm saying? Bimmy, that's his name. Old boy Bimmy that run with Prince and the guy with the hazel eyes or whatever his name is. You know, the Queen's Cats or whatever back in the day that was getting the money or whatever. they was all tight with this particular Detroit family. So I want to say that was her that grabbed me up at the Aretha Club that night at Austin Dre anniversary party for one of his albums or whatnot. So it's just so much history. Some people that recognize me when they see me. Some people have no idea who I am, and I'm cool with that. I don't have no problem with that. But when somebody grab you and be like, take a picture with me, you know what I'm saying? And this has been as long as it's been since I've been in the game. Like, I'm not gonna say it make me, oh, it make me feel good. I feel loved and all that. It just let me know people remember me, not because of what I look like, but because of my skills. And for somebody to grab me and be like, take a picture with me, you the girl that I used to, battle Eminem and eat him up and all that. Me and M never had no battles. We had shows together. When he put out one of his releases, I want to say it was Slim Shady or whatever it is, my nephew still got the tape. He was selling his tapes. I was selling mine. And as we approached one another, he was like, no, let's just trade. I want your shit. You want my shit. And we went from there with it. I kicked it with his manager at the time, who was a guy by the name of Mark Kemp. And they were like, hit us up, and was like, I want to do a song with you and your girls and whatnot. And at the time, my homegirls, the majority of my group were 5%ers. And I'm going to be real as can be. They didn't want to do no song with no white boy. And this was maybe a year and a half before he signed with Aftermath, with Dr. Dre and Interscope and all of that. But I knew him before I knew my homegirls. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of a little bit crushed by that. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to do a song with him, but you know what I'm saying? The way things unfolded with my personal life and things of that nature, I didn't do it. And that's one of the things I can honestly say that I regret. You know what I'm saying? And I was invited to be in the 8 Mile movie. At the time, I was on Tether. And I had one of the worst Tether agents you could have. So I didn't ask her if I can go and participate, right? But on the final day of filming, I decided, let me run it by her just to see what she say. Even if she say yeah, which I know she ain't gonna say, I'm not gonna go. This bitch said yes. So that really shattered me even more, because I should have been asked her. And you know what I'm saying? It would have been what it was supposed to be. But again, if we look at what came after, as far as me being involved in the grassroots conscious community movements, selling the DVDs, helping various brothers and sisters, with knowledge and things that they needed to handle some business, that worked out. You know what I'm saying? So had I been in one world, I wouldn't have been allowed to be, a part of what I'm a part now, which is, you know what I'm saying? You can call it y'all call it woke, the woke. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't. Everybody, if you're not asleep, you woke. It don't mean you know shit about self. It don't mean you know anything about commercial presentments or law or history. You just woke. Like, what does that? That don't mean shit. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I got many short stories to tell. In the near future, I'm gonna have a brother OC come on here, and he done work with some of everybody from Boss all the way up to what's old boy that I used to record with him on? Aunt Fiddler from Parliament. What's the jazz singer name? I can't think of her. Kimmy something. I'm gonna have him on in a couple weeks, guaranteed. Me and him talked a couple weeks ago, and historically, like people from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, he know everybody from a Russell Simmons to a Dr. Dre, and he predates me within the music industry as far as knowing the big wigs. You know what I'm saying? As far as knowing a Babyface and an L.A. Reid. You know what I'm saying? I'm just one of the people who they heard my music or heard my voice and was interested in having a meeting when Chuck D was shopping us a deal from Public Enemy. So I got a lot of stories, good and bad, but they were all lessons, that gave me some knowledge that I didn't have other than just, oh, I'm an MC or I'm a femc or I can rap or, I can beat anybody in a battle. You know what I'm saying? Things that go beyond that. So I just wanted to share the fact that, yeah, let me take this YouTube down, that I found some music of mine that uh, I've been looking for and offering people money for a long time. And I guess it worked out. I saved myself. Who? Oh yeah, it's Homeball Boss. Peace be upon her. Yeah, for sure. That's another regret that I had because the year of my trial, which was the summer, was my trial started in August of 2000. And D, which is if you look at the Born Gangsters CD or tape and you actually listen to it, you will notice that it's two different girls rapping. You got D the Mad Bitch and you got Who We Know As Boss, which was really an acronym for bitches on some shit. But the way Russell and them put it together, y'all know Lachelle is Boss and y'all know D the Mad Bitch is D. D is the one who is my second oldest brother age, and we grew up together. Her baby brother is the same age as me. We went to school together, starting from kindergarten on up until my mother moved us to Florida, right? So long story short, D was on Def Jam, Boss was on Def Jam. Boss did not want to re-sign with Def Jam. And should I even say this? I'm not gonna say that because that ain't everybody business. Maybe me and OC will talk about him when he come on. But those two were best friends and they fell out. So it wasn't until the year 2000 that I was face to face with Lachelle, whom y'all know as Boss. And it's the most exciting shit ever. Because I'm over D house and D is playing my CD. I'm in the bathroom. And while I'm in the bathroom, all I hear is, who the fuck is that? Oh my God, just flipping out, going crazy. When I come out, it's Boss. And she like, that's you? I'm like, yeah. She like, holy moly, blah, 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 right? So I already knew that she was sick before she passed. I was actually taking her to some of her dialysis appointments. Her kidneys were failing, right? So when I actually started taking her around to the various open mic nights and stuff like that and introducing her to the current MCs of my era, I would get upset with them because I'm telling them, don't buy her no drinks. I wasn't going to discuss her medical condition with people, but I'm thinking I'm gangster enough as to where if I tell you don't give her no alcohol, you're not going to give her no alcohol. But knows to me, people were going to the liquor store buying her bottles, right? Now my trial comes, I get convicted, I'm off the picture. But sure as shit, one of the first people I talked to once I got home was her. It was her and her sister, Capone, Carol, known as Lady Capone, on a three-way. And they like, spit something. We putting a group together, and blah, 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 blah. And it just wasn't there for me the way it always was. And Shell had already linked up with my brother, Paul Hussein, and was recording with him. And I was on tether and it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? And I regret the fact that, again, had I not been convicted of some shit and went through 3 lawyers and everything that I went through, I would have dozens of songs recorded with her guaranteed because I was with her every damn day, damn near before my trial started. You know what I'm saying? And we had a tight report. I'm little sis, she big sis. You know what I'm saying? And I was already telling people before she got out, that I was already connected with her. So it just made sense when I started walking into Mark Twain with her and all the other places or wherever that I took her. It made sense that I would be there with her doing her dialysis and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I'm little sis, she big sis. D, my big sis to this day. She got songs with Tupac. Shell got songs with Spice One. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? They always were in the background, you know what I'm saying, waiting to be able to put me where I needed to be. It's just unfortunate that the cards fell how they fell with my situation. So it ain't shit. It ain't, I wasn't talented enough to be signed with Motown Universal or Def Jam. That's not the case. Russell been listening to me since 93. You know what I'm saying? So, and inquiring about me, it's just I knew that he was a dirty motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I would never talk to him, and I was young as hell. I used to actually play on Russell Simmons' phone. Real talk. These are facts. So it is what it is. I mean, when people ask, who's the best female MC and your top 10, Boss is number one. I don't give a fuck. It don't really even have shit to do with the fact that we both from Detroit or whatnot. I mean, she put out one tape. Go listen to it now. You tell me what female in that era was dropping bar for bar how her and D was. Not to mention D had her own songs by herself on that release. Then they had songs where they rapped together on that release. It's just, this is a dirty game. And you talking about two women who were college educated, who came from very stand-up backgrounds, as to where neither of them, were like, I need this money. Obviously, if you're going to tell Russell Simmons, fuck you, you're not re-signing with him, what does that tell you? That you want to have control of your publishing and your art and who's your management, right? Def Jam has a reputation of, if you are an artist who signed with Def Jam, especially during that era, they also want you to sign with Rush Management, which is through Def Jam. So as a new artist, you coming in and you saying, no, I want to be on the label, but I don't want to fuck with y'all management. That causes issues and problems, which was part of the reason why they end up being blackballed, my homegirls, in the end. But again, like I said, they both come from families that, had some money. So it wasn't shit. But one of them wanted to remain on Def Jam, right? So all of these stories, I'll be sharing in the future, and I'll be having guests who are beyond just being reputable, if you will, right? These are people who not starving. These are people who were in the game, and some of them are still in the game and be on my head and been on my head for more than 10 years. Like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, I work at the plant. You know what I'm saying? And I got mad knowledge of self, and they respect that the same way that I respect their art and their stories. And I'm not going to ever bring anything to y'all that is fugazi, if you will. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't factual, then I'm not fucking with it. Now, I may have guests, and I have had guests that, and would know you're not going to agree 100% with everybody on, or anybody on everything that they says. That is what it is. But I'm expected to have some guests who are, contrary to the things that I push. And that should be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll bring in a different audience, and we get to build, and they get to see some things or hear some things or learn some things that they weren't aware of. And I'll get to see some things and hear some things, you know what I'm saying? And try to get an over understanding of why they're following particular narratives, right? And standing with certain agendas that I feel are detrimental to us as a people. And we go from there with it, instead of me cussing people out how I did in the past and putting them off the show. Like, if you don't get, yeah, we're not going to do that. I've matured more, and I mature more every year. And if you don't mature more and learn more every year, then you in the wrong circle. Excuse me. You need to be in a different circumference and a different cipher, right? To be on the same shit, it's crazy. It's crazy. The confirmations that I've got on various music execs and things of that nature is real scary and spooky to some people, but it's not scary and spooky to me, because I experienced it secondhand, not firsthand. I haven't had any of these execs disrespect me. I'll just put it that way. You know what I'm saying? But if you disrespect somebody whom I love, either or way, me and you gonna have a problem. And with that being said, I have some problems with various execs and A&Rs from certain labels. The way that they conduct business was very unfair. They've used some of the best artists from Detroit as tax write-offs, who you all never got the opportunity to hear their music, right? So we'll be exposing all of that information and more. And with that said, if I can find what I'm trying to find, we gonna be out of here. Peace.
YouTube, you fools try to limit me. Muting and deleting channels, thinking that's the end of me. Y'all are not on my level, smaller than a centipede. This is my purpose, TBT is a ministry. I do not tire, my God gives me energy. Chose by Messiah, you believe, come get with me. Married to a black queen, we got the illest chemistry. Founded the Black Tube, and now we making history. Black Tube, 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 what? Black Tube, 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 what? TBT, 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 what? TBT, 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 what? TheBlackTube.com. I'm a giant killer, son of an omniscient God who's realer. If this be the thriller in Manila, I'm Ali in his prime. It's showtime, go time, about to take what's mine. We are not with your agenda. We showing